How did it feel? Was there any... Could you feel that it was the same space?
There was a moment where those two spaces seemed to come together, like sort of in a sort of small flash, sort of come together. But you kind of got to wait around for that to happen. It seemed to me.
But even if they're in different, even if that it remains that you can feel that they're in different spots, like you can feel the quality of open space is kind of the same, or it is the same.
Why would you go back to the headspace as a kind of measure of the other space, of the scope?
Well, it was just to see if those two were the same space. Like going back to the space of the head is also like, because it is the easiest way to recognize the cognizant faculty or quality. But that knowing is also in the belly. So that was just the point. Like that knowing isn't localized, even though it is easier to recognize it in one spot than another.
One of the nice things about it, I thought, familiarity with that practice, because with the Loka he encouraged us to use following the breath and conscious of the rise and fall of the diaphragm and a focus on the belly as a sort of an introductory stage to just sitting in awareness. So there was nice to have that sort of linkage to, but then with a twist on it. So that was also interesting. That space, that was something that was quite new.
Yeah, that's the difference between the sutra style shamatha practice, like mindfulness, and dzogchen.
So in a way, it's kind of a bridge between the two practices.
Yeah. What's the difference there? Sorry.
The knowing quality, the basic space,
From the head space.
or from the gut space. Just pointing out the space, the not just being with the movement, feeling the stillness within the movement, the knowing of the movement. Because you can relax, like once it clarifies, there is no need to apply anything. Like you don't have to apply any concentration anymore. So that's why like they relax into the knowing of the sensation. Because when I started practicing shamatha, I found it very difficult because we had to apply a lot of concentration, and that's not my strong side at all. Like I have a naturally like all over the place mind. So keeping focus on one thing is not ideal. But with the relaxation, it's a completely different story. And also, of course, with the bhumi openings. Like we did an experiment with, well, I can't remember how many people took part of it, but practicing 5 sessions of 30 minutes each, shamatha, for those who have opened masida bhumis. And as a general, like it's a small number, but like a general tendency is that it becomes quite effortless to follow the breath.
Effortless.
Effortless. And also, interestingly, a little, like many reported that it's better to not apply any focus, just audio. No need to restrict the space anymore to a certain body part. But it's a very good practice along with like specifically purifying practices like open heart yoga. Any questions? Otherwise, we'll just practice more.
Just that knowingness in the head and the headspace. When you say it's easier to identify that knowing, what you're referring to there is the knowing of sensation.
The basic knowing that is the basis of all sensations, yeah. Of all phenomena. But it can be like it can be used in any way, like within now. For example, this was what was mentioned yesterday, like when seeing something, you can go to the source of the seeing, and it opens up as the knowing of the seeing without the knower. And the same can be done with sounds, like you hear a sound, and you rest in the space inside the head, and hear the sound in the space. Like not hear the sound, but know the sound in the space of the head. So you still can hear directions, but at one point that the space inside and the space outside boundary breaks down, so there is no distance. So you can still perfectly navigate in the world where the sound comes from, but there is no distance to it anymore. It just arises as knowing.
It seems to me that, I think Kim mentioned this, that it's like the concept of distance being removed.
Mm.
That seems to be all it is. Like just the thought that something is that far away.
Yeah.
When that sound arises, no, with practice, seeing it seems to loosen, that concept
Yeah.
of it being far away.
Yeah, it's exactly like nothing actually changes. That's why they say that, like nothing about reality changes. That's why they say that it's already perfect. It's just that, but concepts go way deeper than thinking mind. So even if, like you can try to let go of thinking about distance, but it still remains. So it seems like we have all kinds of concepts that they're just ingrained, so we can't even see that they're concepts. And they're not conscious concepts, they're just, I don't know how it works, they're just there as concepts, like deep habits.
Held in place by karma.
It is karma.
Does that create problems though in your everyday world, like if you're crossing the road and you use the distance to determine how far away a vehicle is, for example?
Yeah. It's impossible. It's very dangerous. No, but that's what I'm saying, that it doesn't actually, like you can still, perfectly well where the sound comes from, relatively speaking. It's just that the knowing of it is not somewhere inside or outside. So there's this empty quality to the sound as well, which makes the sound stand out much more. So you see the sound, you hear the sound actually for what it is. Like just an expression of awareness itself. Arising from nothing, going back to nothing. And in the meantime remaining as nothing solid whatsoever. But you can still hear, like you can still navigate in everyday life.
So the process is still going on. You can determine that's a car, that noise is a car,
Of course, yeah.
and if I want to get a move on across this road, it'll run me over.
Yeah. Or I hope so. No, of course, yeah. Yeah, you can still do all of that stuff, but there is no, it's just that, you can apply conceptual thinking. You can write, you can use the word I, me, you can do anything, but it's just that it doesn't come pre-programmed into the experience. And that's the difference. You can see how it is, and then you can still do all the other stuff. So it's not like just everything becomes a chaos of sense impressions without any relative reference points whatsoever. It's just that these reference points aren't pre-programmed in the same way.
It's like the feeling of separation softens.
Exactly, yeah. And it's very ordinary. It's not like something like that. It's very ordinary when it's experienced. The most ordinary thing. Yeah.
You know that really awful noise we had, what was it, the day before yesterday? When they
Yeah.
were like trimming the whatever. The deepest sort of experience of the natural state that I've had while up here was when that noise was going.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sort of illustrates why that might be, you know, because it was sort of there, but it had nothing to do with like me, and it was just, well, yeah, it had nothing to do with me, so it wasn't in any way bothering me,
Yeah.
in the least, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite interesting that, wasn't it?
Yeah, very
I
much.
thought that was. God bless the strimmers.
Or bring it back, right?
Bring them back. Yeah.
But that's exactly it. When that selfing mechanism stops, there are no distractions anymore. It's just an expression of awareness. And they come in all as adornments, as was mentioned. Personalities, sounds, colors, all of that stuff. Doesn't go away, but it's not a problem anymore. It's just seen as it is. So nothing has actually changed. Except something has stopped. The programmed mind. Let's sit for 15-20 minutes more. Jonathan, can you stop this practice?
Yeah, sure.
And it, quarter to.
What do you want?
We can just switch places when I'll just start it and then I have to go. Actually, I don't need to go. So. Actually, I do need to go. That's the final.
Just a chaos of sense impression.
It's always now. So again, we are allowing the body to settle. Like dropping a heavy backpack or opening a tight belt. Releasing the body. Again, feeling into the space of the belly. Applying whatever amount of focus to make the initial connection. And feeling the sensations from deep inside the belly. Thoughts come and go. Sensations in the body. Still sitting in the room, but the space of the belly, the basic space as accessed in the belly, remains perfectly clear. Can you feel that? If the space reveals itself in bigger parts of the body, so to speak, in the whole body, let it open up. We don't need to restrict it in any way. But don't worry about forcing it either, or don't force it either. It is enough to feel the sensations of the breath from deep inside the belly. If it feels like you don't need to apply any more focus, if it naturally drops off, then you can let it drop off. If not, then you simply remain deep in the belly. Feeling the stillness at the basis of movement. Then you can release the breath. Take a few deeper breaths. And then palms together. Yeah, now I do have to go. So, afternoon break in, well, now, but in 15 minutes I will bring the food.